Wooting, a company that has already made themselves a name in the keyboard scene and especially amongst the OSE community due to their revolutionary analog switches allowing for very precise inputs, and together with software features such as Rapid Trigger, they've single-handedly carried the playing experience. I mean, there's a good reason why a majority of players and especially top players have switched to their devices. With the Uvo keypad, the 60HE, the Wooting 2 and now the 80HE, they've completed their lineup of keyboards in all form factors and sizes. Coming in at 230 euros, a pretty expensive price for a keyboard, it is definitely questionable whether or not this keyboard is worth its price or not. That's why I'm making this video, to help you decide whether or not it is worth it to you, probably as an OSE player, or not. I'll be taking a look at its features and compare it to my 60HE build, and we'll find out whether or not upgrading to it is gonna be worth it for you, from whatever point you're coming from. If you're in the market for a new keyboard, or maybe just switching from another Wooting or even just a Rapid Trigger device. As the title already mentioned, I will be giving away this keyboard to one lucky viewer, so make sure to stick around and watch the whole video to find out how you can get a chance at winning this massive keyboard for free. Lastly, I want to mention that Wooting sent me this keyboard free of charge, thank you Wooting, but I will still share my honest opinion of course. Without further ado, let's get into it. So taking a look at the unboxing here, as always, Wooting has put the keyboard in a super clean box. But that's obviously besides the point, and what's on the inside of the box is much more important. I've received the 80HE in the ISO layout, and as you can see, looks like the keycaps are missing. They've sent me these separately, as this is the standard with the ISO layout, so I'll be putting those on afterwards. Otherwise, there isn't much included in the main box, besides a nicely braided USB-C cable with a USB-C to USB-A adapter, a few extra switches and some silly paper stuff. Oh, and there are these amazing bags that include some rubber feet for the keyboard, which let you adjust your typing angle as you may please. You can choose between the base 2.8 degree angle, as well as a 6 degree and a 10 degree angle. If we take a look at the 60HE and the 80HE, what are the improvements they've made? Is there anything new to it, besides the most obvious, the layout? Should you upgrade from the 60HE to the 80HE, or is the purchase of this keyboard itself worth it at all? Before we answer all of these questions, let's answer the first one and take a look at some of the features that the 80HE offers over the 60HE. The biggest feature that Wooting is advertising, obviously the 8 kHz polling rate, allowing there to be an extremely low latency, letting you get the most precise inputs possible. The latency gets as low as an eighth of a millisecond. To put it into perspective, the average keyboard has a latency of about 1 millisecond. The next big new feature is the LED bar, which is purely cosmetic. It's fully customizable to show profiles, settings or even just colors. But really anything you want it to do. Something worth mentioning is that the LED bar and the RGB of the keyboard itself are very limited with tachyon mode on, which is necessary for 8 kHz polling. Besides that, it's fully customizable in Wootility, which really is amazing keyboard software. The software is obviously not new to the 80HE though, same as the software features like Rapid Trigger and Rappy Snappy, which are also available on the 60HE. The bigger layout also brings a different case with a new design. You can also choose between a few colors and case options. I have the basic plastic one here in black, which feels solid. Same as the 60HE, doesn't feel insanely premium, but also not terrible. Otherwise, there are more options, such as the Ghost case, offering a slightly see-through option, and the Zinc Alloy case, which I've tried at COE 2024, and that one does feel really good, and it looks really good as well, but obviously comes at its price. Otherwise, of course, the adjustable angles with the silicone feet, which the 60HE does not offer. In my opinion, this is already a pretty fire addition, which I was missing from the base 60HE. A few things that are the same of course, the included braided USB-C cable, as well as all of the software features that you can control with Wootility. Missing is the signature yellow strap that you know from the 60HE. I also forgot to mention that the pre-installed Lecker L60 switches are the new and updated ones, which have less wobble, more loop and just sound better out of the box. The 80HE is also essentially pre-modded with foam, tape and basically anything there is to offer to make it sound better. As I've mentioned, the switches are pre-looped, and I think the whole keyboard does deliver in the sound department. The switches already sound better than my 60HE build to be honest, but just listen for yourself in the following sound test. First comparison is to my 60HE, which I've custom built around 1 year ago, link to that video in the top right corner as well. I obviously did the MonkeyType thing, a sound comparison of the keys, as well as an OSE gameplay sound test. Go to these timestamps if you want to see only a specific one, or just go straight to my conclusion right here. As I said earlier, this keyboard does sound really good. And if you compare to mine, where I've also done all the tape modding and everything, similar to the 80HE, how it's coming out of the factory, no additional looping, same way that the L60 switches in the 80HE are coming. You can just hear the difference. There's a clear winner. And since single tapping, in my opinion, sounds a bit different, I also included another clip right here. When it comes to pricing, this keyboard is not cheap. In the ISO layout, without the keycaps, it costs 200 euros. Add an additional 30 for Wooting's double shot keycaps. 230 euros is a hefty price for a keyboard. So the question arises, is the Wooting 80HE worth its price? And is even an upgrade from, let's say, the 60HE worth it? If you currently don't own any rapid trigger keyboard and you are looking to buy one for also or any other purpose, then yes, for sure. Software wise, it has an upper hand above any other competitor rapid trigger keyboard. Both the 60 and the 80HE are valid options, just really depends on which layout you prefer. Of course the 80HE has a few more things where it exceeds the 60HE, like the 8 kHz polling, but in the end the choice has to be your preference. And if you already own the 60HE, in my opinion, probably not. The only reason you'd really have would be the layout change, and if you prefer the 80% over the 60%, then yes. In most other cases, probably not. I suppose if you have too much money, you can always go ahead and get the 80HE as well, but this most likely won't be the case for most of you guys, so probably not. And if you already own a rapid trigger keypad, such as the Wooting Uvru or any competitor keypad, if you don't have any issues with your keypad and don't really need a new keyboard, it most likely doesn't make much sense. But if you're maybe even tired of only having a keypad, it annoyed me personally, and are in the market for a full rapid trigger keyboard, both the 60 and the 80HE are good options for sure. 2 years ago, when I was looking at Wooting's keyboards, the 60% just felt too small to me, the Wooting 2 being a full-size keyboard just way too big. I would have loved the 80% version that they've now decided to release. At this point I did already get used to the 60% layout, so I don't want to switch off of that, but if I was still looking for an 80% or TKL layout, I would for sure go with this banger keyboard. I really like the out-of-the-box sound and feel of the keyboard, and even the price feels fair to me, considering everything it has to offer. The only thing I dislike about it is that it comes pre-installed with the L60 switches. I've come to like the lighter L45s a lot more, and I would have loved the option to purchase the 80HE pre-installed with those instead. Of course, you can always buy them separately and switch them out yourselves. The switches are hot swappable, but considering the price, it would be nice to just have the option to choose instead of putting the extra work on your own platter. This was my only concern though. During the testing of this thing, I was really satisfied with it overall, and I would definitely purchase it again. Before we come to the end of this video, as I promised, I'm giving away this 80HE. It's practically brand new and I've only tested it a bit during the making of this video. Now, how can you win this keyboard? First of all, you need to know the giveaway is open from the date this video is uploaded and lasts until April 12th, so for 4 weeks. During this entire month, there's a few methods of entry. To win, you only need to enter once, but entering multiple times will increase your odds of winning. First method of entering is just leave a comment under this video. Doesn't matter what you say, just comment anything and also like the video. Secondly, go over to my Twitch and leave a follow. Then what you will have to do is buy the 80HE giveaway redeem for 2000 channel points. Everyone can only buy this one once, making it 2 entries. The third and last way is, if you're subscribed to me on Twitch, you also get an additional entry with your channel point redeem, this one being your last possible one. So in total, you can enter up to 3 times, getting 3 chances of winning. To receive the 2000 channel points required to enter, all you need to do is watch my streams. I stream to these times, just stick around and collect those points. As I've mentioned, entering ends on the 12th, and on the 14th I'll be rolling the winner on stream. So stick around to the streams and join my Discord to know at which exact time I'll be giving away the keyboard. And again, massive shout out to Wooting for providing me with the 80HE keyboard free of charge. And I know it is the German layout in the ISO. You're not getting around the ISO, but maybe if you guys are giving this video enough support, Wooting will be kind enough to give the winner the layout of their choice. If you are obviously not German, that could happen that you win if you're not German. Make sure you like the video, you subscribe, you comment obviously, and send this video to a friend. If we get enough support, maybe they drop it in. This could be yours. Just saying.